Hello, welcome to OpenStar CNC. In this video, I will show you how to use a macro to make projections of toolpaths onto almost any type of object. And by almost any object, I include also the meshes. And this is really important because sometimes you might have a mesh that has millions of faces and it's almost impossible to convert it using the part, convert to shape and then convert to solid. Using this tool you will be able to mill that shape, to mill that mesh without having to go through all those steps that are really time consuming. Before moving on, I want to thank everybody for the support, be it by subscribing to my Patreon page where you will have access to all the videos without any ads, without any interruptions, or through my Ko-Fi page when downloading macros, when downloading files that I use in my videos, or just a simple one-time donation. As I told you, the macro is available on my Ko-Fi page. You can find the download link in the description of this video and you can download it for free or together with a small donation. Let's first move to the solid projection. In this case, you can see that I already have an operation that is projected onto this surface. What does this macro do that the Z-Correct Dressup doesn't do? It can project any toolpath onto multiple faces, onto entire objects. As I've told you earlier, onto meshes directly. It will take that toolpath and project it to that surface. Not only that it does all of that, but it also accepts situations when the toolpath is not entirely over the object. It will just default to the base of the object and you won't get an error. You can still project the toolpath. It will take into account the shape of the tool bit. You can see here it only lowers when the tool bit is not going to hit the object. And this is pretty far away because in this operation I'm using a V-bit. The macro works with a standard end mill, with a ball end tool bit, with a bullnose tool bit, and with V-bits. So it can be really useful for engraving operations. What doesn't work, or at least for now, maybe by the time you are watching this video, there's a newer version that also accepts V-carve operations. For now, the macro doesn't work for V-carve operations. But let me show you how to use it, because this is the most important thing. First, go to the link in the description, download the file, go to macros, and here you have the macros location. Click on open folder, paste the file there, and you will have it in this list. You will be able to run it. But before running it, you need to set a base operation that you are going to project. You can see that I have a job here where I have this body, this solid that I modeled, just to have an example for this operation, and the name of my channel, OpenStar CNC, made using a shape string. I've created the job, imported them. Now let's select the shape string and create an engrave operation. I will use a 90 degrees V-bit, make sure the object is in the base geometry. And what I need to do different than usual, I want to make an operation that has just one pass. I don't want multiple passes, I don't want step down, because the projection operation will only take into account the shape, not the number of layers. So in this situation I have a step down of 12.7 millimeters, which means any difference between the start and the final depth which is lower than this step down will be okay. I cannot edit the value here. I want to write 25 millimeters, but I cannot do that. And that is because this is based on an expression. You can see the dark blue icon. Clicking on this button will pop up this window where I can either change the expression or just click reset and this will remove the expression. I can now modify this value here. So let's write 25 millimeters. Click on apply and you can see that toolpath created just one pass at any height. It doesn't matter, it can be at the bottom of the object or the top. It will still project it from over the object onto its faces. We have the engrave operation. I'm going to hide the base object so it's easier to see. You can see the toolpath, each letter milled. The tool bit is raised when the letters are not connected. I want to have this exact toolpath but projected onto this object. Well, I've moved the shape string just to show you what happens when it's sitting outside of the object. So let's just quickly go here, select the shape string, and let's move it again entirely over the object so you can see what is happening. So the base operation updated. Now I can hide the shape string and let's make a projection of this toolpath onto this object, which is body 001. It is also part of the job. It doesn't really have to be. I will show you later how to use an object that is not part of the job. To run the macro, select the engrave operation, hold Ctrl, select the target, and this is the order the selection needs to be in. First the operation and then the target, and run the macro. You can find it either in the list here, or if you have used it already, you will find it in the recent macros list. I can set 3 values here when first running the macro: a Z offset, which is an offset on the Z-axis, an XY offset, obviously an offset on the X and Y axis, and a step down, which creates, of course, more layers depending on the total height of the projected operation and on the step down that I set. I will leave all the 3 values at 0 for now. A step down of 0 means it will only create one pass. Click on the OK button, and I have the operation projected, following the exact shape of the object that I used for projection. It is as simple as that. You can see the base operation has been disabled, so it won't get exported together with the projection. Since this is an engrave operation, if I set a side view, an orthographic side view, you can see that the toolpath is just touching the surface. Of course, this is not going to engrave anything. How can I solve that, and how can I modify the operation? Unfortunately, since this is a macro, for now the projected operation is not interactive. You have to delete the operation, enable again the base operation, and now let's make an actual engraving. I have selected the operation, then the target object, run the macro again, and I will set a Z offset of minus 0.5 millimeters. Click on OK, and that's it. Now the operation actually does milling in this surface following the exact shape, but with a shifting of 0.5 millimeters on the Z-axis. Depending on the shape of the tool bit, on what you want to obtain, sometimes you might also want to use the XY offset, which will shift the toolpath. Of course, the macro takes into account, as I've told you, the shape and the dimensions of the tool bit. The XY offset will add an extra offset to the one already calculated by default. But what if I didn't mill this face yet? Obviously, having the tool bit go so deep in the material will create a lot of problems. Let's delete again the projected operation. Let's enable the base, select the base operation and the target, and run the macro again. Set the Z offset to minus 0.5. and let's use a step down of 3 millimeters. Click on OK, and I have the operation projected with a layer height of 3 millimeters. You might see some errors here. Let me tell you that these are related to the way the toolbit is created. It doesn't have anything to do with the macro, and as you can see, everything works okay. So if you want to use layers, if you need to use layers, set a step down value other than 0, and that will be taken into account, and multiple layers will be generated following the shape that you are projecting the operation to. As I told you in the beginning of the video, if the toolpath isn't entirely over the projection object, it will just default to the base Z. This way it won't fail. You won't have a failed operation if, for example, in a small corner the toolpath is going outside of the object. You can project directly to a mesh. Let's go to this other file, and let me first disable everything that I'm going to show you. I have this mesh here. It is imported. It has a count of 278,000 faces. Just imagine going to the part menu, having to convert this to a shape, then to a solid, then refining the solid, then creating a job based on that solid. I think I just talked for 10 seconds and I represented a total work time of 10 minutes. At least on my computer, doing all those steps would take around 10 minutes. Besides that, I want to project this engrave operation, the same that we used in the other file. I want it to be projected to the exact shape of this mesh. It is as simple as selecting the operation, holding Ctrl, selecting the mesh, and running the macro. That's all you need to do. Of course, set a Z offset of minus 0.5 millimeters so it will actually engrave something, and click on the OK button. In just a few seconds, you will have the operation projected on the surface of the mesh with a Z offset of minus 0.5 millimeters, the one that we set when running the macro. Let me now delete the engrave operation and also hide the shape string. And let me show you another example where this macro is really useful. Whenever using meshes with millions of faces, getting from the point of importing that mesh to actually having a 3D surface toolpath to make the G-code for milling that surface can take even hours. Because you have to import the mesh, you have to convert it in the part workbench to a shape, then convert the shape to a solid, and probably make another copy of the solid using the refine option. And then you need to create a new job. Just the creation of the job will take a lot of time, and so on. What if I can just define the stock using the create box option, create a mill face operation which just flattens the stock, and now let's take advantage of the macro and project this operation for a roughing pass with several layers since it's going to be a roughing pass. Select the mill face roughing, select the projection mesh, run the macro. Let's set an offset of 0.2 millimeters. I want this time the toolpath to be a little higher so I have extra material to remove when making the finishing pass, and I will use a step down of 5 millimeters. Once the projection is ready, I have this toolpath with several layers which follows the exact shape of the mesh within just a couple of minutes after importing the mesh without having to go through all those steps. After making the roughing operation, I can make another mill face operation to mill the top face of the stock so I can project it to the mesh. Of course, this time I'm going to use a much lower step over, maybe use a different tool bit, a ball end tool bit. Again, select the operation, select the mesh. You can see the mesh is not inside the job, so it doesn't matter where the target object is. And again, run the macro. This time I'm not going to use any Z offset because I want the exact shape of the mesh, and I'm not going to use step down because most of the material has been removed using the roughing pass. Once this operation is projected, you can see it here with just one pass. Wherever the mesh is not covering the toolpath, it will just default to the bottom. So everything runs okay. I can simulate a 3D surface operation for such situations where I have a very complex mesh which takes a lot of time to import, to process in order to be able to bring it into a CAM job. And I'm going to show you one last situation where I find this really useful. What if I want to cut an outline, for example, this sketch here, and I want to cut it, but I want to take into account the shape of the mesh. Let's create a profile operation. But before being able to create the profile operation, you can see that I have a problem here. Selecting the entire sketch doesn't allow me to add the sketch as base geometry. That is because the profile operation only accepts edges, but when selecting the entire object, I also have the vertices. For this sketch, things are pretty simple. I just have 4 edges. I can select them one after the other using the Ctrl key. But what if I have a sketch with, let's say, 1,000 edges? Again, a macro comes in very handy. Download it by following the link in the description, and then all you need to do is have the entire object selected, run the only edges macro, and it will automatically switch the selection from the entire object to just the edges. Now I can use the add button to add the edges of the object to the base geometry. You might see the profiling lines already appearing, and that is why I just want the edges, because otherwise it will also mill the shape of the text, and that is something which I don't want to. So now click on add. You can see that the selection switched from the entire object to just its edges, and I was able to add them to the base geometry. Now if I click on the apply button, you can see the text is no longer milled. Just as with the engrave operation, I have to change the final depth. Click on the expression, click on reset, and set a value of 49 millimeters because I just want one pass. You can see it here. Click on OK. And now let's select the profile operation, hold Ctrl and select the mesh, and run the projection macro again. I will use a step down of 5 millimeters just to show you what happens. It took almost a minute and I have this toolpath projected which avoids hitting the mesh. Of course, this shape is not something that you might want to cut out of, but sometimes you might have small variations. You might have a certain type of object that you want to mill following a mesh shape. You can use this macro, project it, and again, if it doesn't find the surface, it will stop at the bottom. This is really useful because, as you might know, the Z-depth correction dress up will fail if the target surface is not covering the entire toolpath. Thank you for watching. I hope you find this macro useful. So follow the link. You will be able to download the macro for free or together with a small donation. Thank you for watching. See you next time.